Welcome to the Infield Chatter Podcast. My name is Tyler Ross. I'm joined, as always, by Eric Henderson. What up, Eric?
What up? What up, people? What up, Hot Dog Nation?
Yes, it's officially happened. We're in the season. Both of us have gotten one game under our belts for being at the stadium. We'll get into that a little bit. We're going to talk about how some teams are looking already in the first couple of weeks of the season, maybe some stats we're excited about. We got a lot to talk about, Eric.
A lot's been going down.
Yeah, go for it. Hit it.
I was gonna say, where do we start?
Well, let's start with we both went to games. I think that's a great one. I was on the road and I ended up going to a afternoon Kansas City Royals game. They played the Blue Jays, so I got to see Vlad Jr. hit a homer, baby. What a fun day for me. He went back to back actually, so that was really cool.
Fine Canadian imports.
Yeah, it was great. I did not get there in time to hear the Canadian national anthem, unfortunately, but
That's
maybe
okay.
next time. All in all, stadium wasn't bad. It's kind of a smaller park. I'm not a huge fan of buying standing room only tickets, but I saw they have that as an option, so that's pretty cool. The R in the Royals in the outfield was missing, which I thought was hilarious. Go check out my Instagram reel if you want to see a video of that. And then
whose job is that?
I don't know, but somebody needs to get on it big time.
Like missing? Like the R was flat out missing?
R nowhere to be seen.
Crazy.
Royals is what I was.
Royals. The Kansas City Royals.
Unless they're trying to be like European, but like Royals.
We're British. The Royals. The British.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
So maybe that was it, but maybe not. But they had a cool, like, they have fountains in the outfield. I don't know. It's tough when you, like, most of your outfield where you want to be for, like, home run balls are taken up by not seats. And that's probably was my biggest qualm with it. Like, I want to be able to, like, be where the ball's going to go.
Catch the ball. Yeah.
Exactly.
I've driven by the ballpark. That's the closest I've ever been. It's right along I-70.
Yep, and it's right across in the same complexes where the Chiefs play, which is cool, except for the fact that that means there's only one parking lot and you have to pay, like, the full parking lot rate and that.
Football parking rate.
Yeah, it's a bummer when you pay less for 2 baseball tickets and parking is more expensive than that. But
is that the only place to park?
Only place to park. Spot Hero's like, we got nothing for you, dude.
Kansas City can blow me.
Yeah, their shitty baseball team deserves to have fans paying that much for parking.
That's crazy.
So that was cool. And that brings me to the fact that all season long, Eric and I have I guess I'll call it official now, of hot dogs in the park counter, which I got up to 3, had 2 at the Royals game, had 1 at OKC Dodgers Fan Fest. It was in the park. It counts.
I don't know. It was minor league. Does it count? I think it was like maybe half a hot dog.
Hey, listen, they got a pay raise this year, so please don't take anything away from them. Okay?
We can count full dog on this.
Don't start delegitimizing them. What are you, on the side of the owners? How dare you?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, be amongst the players.
Hey, these players in hot dogs.
I'm sure that was the problem, actually.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I'd play baseball for free hot dogs.
Well,
I'd do a lot of things for free hot dogs.
I don't want to know any more about that.
We'll leave it at that.
You will leave it at that. You went to a game? Saw the Rockies, right?
Saw the Colorado Rockies played the Washington Nationals. It was a terrible, terrible game. It was between 2 of the worst teams in the National League. The Rockies walked in 2 runs and still managed to win by 1. It was fantastic. Got to see my boy Chris Bryant. We were sitting behind the right field. At right field, I don't know if you call them bleachers. They're kind of seats. They're not the bleachers section of Coors Field, but we were sitting behind Chris Bryant, my boy. I was just shouting him praises the whole time. Might become a regular in right field this season. Myself.
I mean, Chris Bryant's a fun guy.
He's a cool guy, man.
The Guardians are playing the Yankees right now, and whenever I see Chris Bryant, I'm like, obviously I hate him because he was on the 2016 Cubs, but watching him, you're like, you know what? He's a real chill, laid-back guy. He seems like, he's a smiley boy. He seems like he'd be a cool guy to hang out with.
His eyes are the same color as the Chicago Cubs win flag. It's beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. And then he stands in a category alone. He's the only player that's won the Little League World Series, Rookie of the Year, MVP, and the World Series.
Wait, Chris Bryant or Anthony Rizzo?
Chris Bryant.
Okay. I brought up Anthony Rizzo. All right. Well, that's pretty cool stat line. I don't.
And so,
I wonder if there's anybody that comes close. That's like an EGOT for baseball.
yeah, he stands alone in right field there at Coors Field. So I was out there singing in praises, and then it was a fine game. It was nice to be in the ballpark. I did slam 3 hot dogs to level the score. Uh, and then it was a little hot here in Colorado already, and so we were taking a break from the sun because our seats were in the sun, and so we were taking a shade break, me and the fellas. And while we were taking a shade break, a home run ball got hit to our seats. It bounced off our empty seat. Is how close.
Dang.
Like we saw it. We were on the other side of the park watching, and we saw it. And we were like, well, fuck, that went to our seats. That's a seat adjacent. And then we get back to the seat, and there's the people there are like, it bounced. It literally hit your chair. And we're like, no shit. And the ladies like got the ball right behind us and missed out on another home run in right field there. It's the second time that's happened to me in that exact location.
So here's what I'm thinking, though. If you have a ball get hit to you and you don't catch it, do you get to keep that ball, or should you have to hand it off to somebody else because you were unable to catch the home run?
I think in the scramble, whoever comes up with it in the thick gets to keep it. Unless there's like clearly some children around that don't suck, that are enjoying the game, then you give the ball to them.
Yeah, I would be a little. I feel like I'd be, especially if you watch me like full try to get it and like fobble it. It's like I lost that one. That one's not for me. Too bad.
Yeah.
So sad.
No, it seemed like there was a scatter. I went home and watched the replay of this home run to see just how close it came to the seats that we had. And there was a bit of a scramble. It didn't hit the seat on the line drive. It hit the seat on a bounce. It bounced a couple of times through the sections, but it would have most certainly whacked my friend Joe right in his dumb face if we were sitting there.
Would you throw it back, or would you be like, no, I just got a Major League Baseball, I'm going to keep this?
Oh, I'm keeping that. Oh shit, I have no allegiance to either of those teams. I'm keeping the home run ball.
All right.
So, unless I can trade it to a child for good reputation points. I don't know.
I don't think that's how that works, but
Baseball karma.
We'll keep working. I think that's one of those unwritten baseball rules, unfortunately.
Right. One time I was sitting behind the dugout at Coors Field, and I was lucky enough to snatch Nolan Arenado threw both of his batting gloves on top of the dugout, and I snatched them. And I gave one to a kid to be cool, and then this kid was a whiny little bitch, would not shut up, asked for the second one, so I gave him the second one.
Wow.
I gave away Nolan Arenado's
child guilted you out
batting
of
gloves.
A cool little gift.
Couple months later, I'm at the game where Nolan Arenado hits a walk-off home run for a cycle. I paid up. Baseball karma.
That was you. That
was
you.
me.
All right.
I'm not taking credit. I'm just saying that I got to experience it because of my good fortune.
I think that checks out. All right. I'm with you on that. Well, we jumping into it, I guess we got to start with the corrections department. Made a quick note. Our giant staff of helpers putting these episodes together.
We had to fire some fact checkers this week.
Yeah, unfortunately, not going to make the cut anymore. The Rays undefeated, and we missed that last episode. They're at 10 wins right now as we're recording this. I'm hoping to put it out soon after us recording it Tuesday at 2:15. But they're at 10, and I looked it up. The mark to reach that would tie the 1982 Braves and the 1987 Brewers for the longest winning streak to open a year would be 13. 13. And
13.
When you look at their schedule, it's kind of tough. Like, they're playing Boston right now. Solid squad. They're 500, I think, right about now.
They are.
They're 500, but
exactly
their next series, I don't know if it's going to be as easy. They go and play the Blue Jays after this. So if they do, in fact, squeeze by and sweep the Red Sox, I don't know if they're going to be able to sweep the Blue Jays. They're just hitting too well, and I don't think it can live on past that.
No, I'm gonna play the contrary here and say that they have what it takes.
I love that.
Just for the sake of argument, I think they got it. And when you're hot, you're hot. You know what I'm saying? 10 in a row is pretty good. You got to win 3 more. Boston, not that great. They're gonna come out of that, I think, with 2, and it would be up in the air against Toronto. But I think when you get to that point where you are sitting at 12, you're gonna be ready for the 13.
Yeah, they're 7. I didn't realize all their games this season have been at home. So they're 7-0 at home.
Oh,
that's interesting.
I didn't know that either. Maybe they're going to lose. Maybe they're going to lose the moment they go on the road. I take it all back.
Once you cross the border up there to Canada, everything changes. It Ain't no records when you're in Canada.
It'll probably be cold in Boston.
They're still they're playing all these games at home still.
Oh,
So, and I think they have a dome as well.
in Boston? Oh no, yeah, in
No.
Tampa. What the dome of Fenway Park? Yeah, in Tampa Bay they play inside. They have a very cozy.
Fenway would look so silly with the giant dome and the green monster. Like it's just so much like structure if you were to try to like look around it.
It'd be like the headquarters for the end of the world.
Yeah. You haven't seen The Last of Us, so I will not make a reference to that show.
Okay.
Anyway, going the other way, teams that stink. Dude, the
Yeah,
Cardinals,
the Cardinals.
a team that you said at the beginning of this season was going to win 100 games,
Yep.
can barely get any games right now.
They got a lot of work to do. They currently hold the worst record in the National League. And I've been watching Cardinals games for fun. And they're not doing well. And to be honest, it looks like team morale is down. And there was an incident last week where the head coach benched O'Neal because he didn't hustle all the way.
That's
from
what he
second to home.
said. I hated that. I
And
watched that, and he turned and looked for a second, and you can see he kind of maybe slowed down a bit. But besides that, it was like, give me a break. I heard his post game interview. O'Neal, he's like, dude, you think I'm not running hard every single play?
right,
Are you out of your mind? Like
the man is absolutely jacked. It takes a little bit to get all their muscles to work, but once they start going, he's a steamroller. And I think it's some bullshit. I don't like what happened. I don't like how poor move on the coach to call him out publicly in the media and just give the media something to talk about for 2 or 3 days. Completely blew it out of proportion, made it way worse. That's a private conversation you have with your player. And then I think the lasting effect, I was watching the game yesterday. Their head coach has this blank look on his face, like he knows he's getting fired.
Yeah.
And so I'm calling it now. I texted my buddy who's a Cardinals fan today. I was like, your coach ain't making it through the season. I'll bet you a hot dog on it. So we got a hot dog on the line. He's not going to make it. They're going to fire their coach midway through the season. It'll be just like Joe Girardi last year getting canned by the Phillies. This guy, we will not see this coach in October. You heard it here first.
All right. Well, I'm going to agree with you on that. I just think if they keep losing games at this rate, they're not going to stick around. I mean, when you have that AL Central division or NL Central division where, the Brewers and the Pirates are your top teams in it, it's like, what are we doing here, guys?
Right. The Brewers aren't a terrible team, but none of the other teams in the fucking NL Central, Cubs included, are competitors this season. So there's no reason for them to be. The Cardinals should have gone wire to wire, and now if they make it to the World Series, it'll be the rags to riches story.
Yeah. So of course, not to be completely expected, the A's stank. The Tigers stank.
Yeah.
The Nationals, who knows what's going to happen with them? They're starting bad, but they could stink. And
I don't think they're like when I found out the Rockies were playing the Nationals at that game, I was like, oh, might as well be a AAA fucking baseball game right here. But no, there's some bad teams, some bad teams in the mix, but none more shocking than the Cardinals. The Phillies ain't doing great either, but they didn't do that great to begin the season last year. Maybe they just don't like showing up in springtime.
And they're just buying their time for when Bryce Harper comes back. The Angels are looking pretty rough right now as well.
Yeah.
I think I saw the other day they had like 4 runs, and they were both only because of Shohei and Mike Trout. No one else on the team got a hit or any sort of run scored.
No.
It was just all them. So
I don't think that. I think they ain't going. I think the talking point of Ohtani is going to be the trade deadline. I don't think they're going to keep him. I don't think they're going to perform.
Yeah, they're 5-5 right now, which I guess sounds better than it is. But watching them play, they just don't look good. I've watched a few of their games because I'm interested in it. But yeah, just
you can't just have two guys winning the whole thing the whole time.
Right?
It's really you can't play that way.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. A lot of games still left in the season. Home run leader.
Yeah,
Pete
been some
Alonso.
big flies. Yeah, we're getting some. The funny thing is the Yankees fans are saying that Aaron Judge is going to break the record again. He hit 2 home runs in one game, and they're like, "Here he goes, off to 69 home runs this season. We go," is what the Yankees say. But He's not even first in the. There's two guys that have more home runs than him. Why aren't we talking about Pete Alonso or Brian Reynolds breaking the home run record this season?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of wishful thinking if that's where you're putting all your faith already that he's gonna hit. I
Yeah,
mean, it's gonna be a thing where there's a lot of season left. People get hurt, so we'll see what happens with that. And
it would just
at
be
a certain and they haven't played very competitive games. I think most of their games it hasn't been that close except for a few of the Giants games that they had.
yeah.
And he's gonna get walked a lot more. Like once people are like, "Oh
Oh
yeah, he
yeah.
is hitting," like they're not gonna pitch to him. It's just I think it's just so like not well thought out to think that that's gonna happen. I would love to see it. I'm not
Yeah.
against seeing a bunch of home runs. Don't say I'm a home run hater. I just don't think it's gonna happen again. So
Yeah, personally, I'd love some of this delusion juice that the Yankees fans get to drink. So,
well, they're playing the Guardians today, so I also like them to continue not hitting home runs. That would be great.
yeah,
But if you feel like it, he's only plus 210 to get a home run for Aaron Judge. It's Dinger Tuesday at FanDuel, so if you don't know, you could bet $25 on somebody get a home run. Anybody else gets a home run in that game, you get $5 each time someone hits a home run in that game. If it's not your guy,
not bad.
a little fun promo for you to keep out of. But yeah, Pete Alonso 5, Brian Reynolds 5. I got to see, like I said, Vlad hit 2. I don't think he even cracked our list here right now, but yeah, well, I need. It's been also fun watching Cleveland not hit any home runs and only hit like infield singles somehow and a lot.
Small
It's
ball.
small ball. That's what they do, baby. That is
Mm-hmm.
literally all they do. So,
Nope. I've caught some innings of the Guardians games. It's pretty fun. It's entertaining to watch because who knows? It's kind of unpredictable.
dude, watching people run out first is very exciting. Also, I was not sure about their new catcher. He had surgery last year, didn't play a lot, but Mike Zunino is killing it right now. He had 3 triples yesterday. Who hits
Damn,
3 triples in a game
that's
ever?
wild.
That's insane. So
Yeah.
he's been looking great. He's probably one of the best catchers I feel like hitting catchers Cleveland has had in a while. So I'm excited about him.
Great.
Uh,
Great news for you.
it is great news for me. I thanks, Eric.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't know. I don't know that much about him. He's got a fun name, Zanino. That's pretty good.
it is a fun name, yeah. So let's keep moving. There's 7 pitchers here I see with 0.0 ERAs.
Yep, and that's compiled over 2 to 3 starts, at least 10 innings, for each of them. We've had some impressive show so far.
Dude, I am very excited for the Cubs this year. I think they're going to be an underdog in a lot of games and they're going to end up winning. I mean, beating the Mariners yesterday was huge because the Mariners are really good and I think a lot of people don't give the Cubs credit. So if they can keep scrapping out wins like this, it's going to be like very fun here in Chicago.
Oh yeah, no, we have a fun team. I like these players. I like the squad. It's totally different than last year. I was just sitting there watching the game and I'm like, where in the world is Frank Schwindel? And who cares about that guy? They have recognizable talent on the field, and with the Cardinals fucking tanking, it's anybody's game now.
We're
So
calling it tanking already. I love that.
yeah, they're doing real bad, and so the Cubs could end up first in the division. So I had them at second place, and they may click and figure it out. They need some pitching. Maybe they'll start taking it more seriously towards the trade deadline. If things start going well, Kyle Hendricks will be coming back soon,
Hey,
and maybe we got something here in this ragtag team. I'm for it. I'm having a good time. They installed new lights at Wrigley Field just the other day. It was the first night game last night with the new lights. They got
people are very
LED.
excited about the LEDs. That's all
They
they.
got
I
LED
tuned into
lights.
the radio broadcast because it's blacked out for me out here. And boy,
Hmm.
they couldn't talking. Oh, you can turn them on, you can turn them off.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
that's how I got my info. I was watching the same. I was watching the same feed.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and then I noticed after they won the game, they were like strobe lighting it all up. Like it'll be a different, fun little vibe at Wrigley Field when they start winning.
Hey,
With the
and
new lights.
and as summer hits and people like are enjoying, like the weather's getting nice here in Chicago, more people are going to games. Tomorrow's an afternoon Wednesday game, which is very exciting. Catch me on the streets trying to bother people. But I mean, it's right there. I'm not that far. I'm gonna hear it all year round, hearing the booms of the crowd, hearing the announcer voice. I feel like I'm at a game 24/7.
Yeah, no, that's I think Wrigleyville is gonna be rocking this season.
We think so too. All right, so we talked pitchers. There's a few good ones. Stroman, which is why I started talking about the Cubs, looking good. Good for
Yeah.
him. The Rockies have a pitcher with 0 ERA. I see on this list here.
I don't think he has pitched at home yet.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Freeland is up there. Very impressive. He's always been their ace, so I'm not shocked by that. But I also did not dive deep into it, but I don't think there's a home game included in that.
Dang. Okay.
So,
Anybody, any other pitchers you want to talk about? The Cleveland's Class A has been killing it with closing out games. I'm, of course, a homer, and I'm always going to talk about my own players. So.
No, Gossman, for the Dodgers has been killing it, but he's doing a little stint on the IL currently for something. I didn't look to see what it is, but and then one stat that's fun that pops out is Dustin May for the Dodgers has a .069 ERA. That's the nicest ERA of the week right there. But it's nice to see him back. He was hurt last year, so him having a pretty stellar ERA is a pretty good sign.
Nice. And then, so also looking at pitchers' stats, Dylan Cease, most strikeouts right now in the majors. Good for him. He's averaging, he had 6, 8, and 10 strikeouts in his past 3 starts. That's amazing. So,
yeah, he's coming off a hot season, being he was like the number 2 on the Cy Young last year.
Yeah, if I see him pitching coming up, I'm gonna definitely hit his over under for strikeouts because he seems like he's just hot, and there's no reason to bet against him right now. So
yeah,
I love
he's in his mustache phase in his life, and he's just stellar.
So now that we're in it, we're in the third series of the season. Third series, yeah. Right? Is that right?
I don't know. Sure.
Third series. I'm gonna go with that. So few matchups where we kind of know. I feel like what's gonna happen. Of course, every once in a while, bad teams end up just making it happen somehow. But the Oakland at the Angels, is that who they're playing right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Be the A's versus the Orioles. The Orioles are hotter than hot right now too, so they're kind of the unspoken underdog.
Yeah, that's
so.
fun to see them doing well.
Yeah.
They kind of just pop out of nowhere. The A's always going to be bad, so I'm never going to not bet against them. Yankees Guardians is going to be close the whole time. These teams met in the playoffs last year, and that was a pretty close series. So it's just fun kind of reliving that. Miles Straw had that really famous moment with the Yankees fans where he kind of like jumped up to the bleachers. So anytime we play the Yankees, I feel like it's personal for Miles Straw, and
I think
the most stolen bases, good for him.
Yeah, I think both of those teams are really comfortable with themselves right now, and so that'll be a good matchup.
Yeah.
Some teams are still trying to figure it out, but both of those teams have been pretty hot, pretty consistent lately.
Yeah, I think so. Keeping it moving, the Rays. I think they're just going to keep fighting off and hopefully
sweep the Red Sox.
Hopefully, can they sweep the Red Sox? Keep it going. I want to see them get to 13 at least. That would be very cool. The Royals and the Rangers. That I feel like the Royals are always supposed to. I think of them as a good team, but then their record and when I went and watched them play, they are not a good team. And the Rangers have just been putting up like huge numbers every once in a while in some of these games. I don't know if they still have the highest run differential, but a couple weeks ago they did, and it was very impressive. But
yeah, if their pitching could catch up to their stellar offense, they would actually be a contender this year.
Yeah, well, let's see. So yeah, their run differential's 20. That's not bad. Considering the Rays is 58, but that I feel like that's shouldn't even be considered in the same like number classification right now.
Yeah, that'll probably balance out.
Yeah. The Phillies and the Reds, I always want Cincinnati to be good because I just don't mind Ohio teams both being good when they're in different divisions. But the Phillies, you just have no idea what's going on with them, even though yesterday they put up like 15 runs on the Marlins. But again, not a big deal to me. And if you do that in an indoor park, like it's cool, but also like kind of an anomaly sometimes, you know?
Absolutely. You got to have the elements.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I went to that, I don't know about you, but the game I went to, you said it earlier, the game I went to was kind of chilly, a little cold at the game still. So,
yeah.
Luckily there weren't a lot of people there, so we kept moving with where the sun was. So that was nice.
That's fun.
That is nice. All right. So keeping it moving right along. Twins Yankees is the next. The Twins are another team where it's like, what are they? They're kind of right there in the middle.
Yeah, I think they're probably the most interesting team to watch out of the American League, at least in the Central Division, because they're not doing bad. But they also, I don't totally know what pieces they have, outside of Carlos Carrera and Buxton. I don't really know what's going on in Minnesota.
Yeah.
But
But
uh
they're playing the Twins right now. That's a pretty big series for the Central, for AL Central. So we'll see what moves on with them. Blue Jays, I'm gonna be a big fan of. I saw them live, so I feel like whenever I go see a team, I have a little more like affinity to them. And even though I went to a Tigers game last year, I don't think they got the stuff.
yeah, the Tigers are abysmal. There was a highlight reel of all of Javi Baez's swing and misses so far this season, and it's hard to watch.
I think I said it last episode or two ago. Like it feels like this season for the Tigers is just them trying to gas up Miguel Cabrera's stats so that when he eventually retires in the next like year or so, they can be like, look, he broke the record for hits for our team,
Yeah,
and
that's pretty much
let's not
it.
talk about it. Anything else?
That's really all they have is his swan song season, and nothing else going for him.
Yeah. All right, moving down. The Pirates and Cardinals, like we said, the Cardinals, what are they? Who are they? The Pirates are a team that squeak out wins every once in a while. Another team I don't consider it's like the opposite for the Royals. Whenever I think of the Pirates, I just think like bad baseball team. But
Yeah, they did just
they're not that
lose.
bad.
They just lost O'Neal Cruz to injury. He broke his
Oh
ankle
yeah, I saw
sliding
that
into home plate,
collision.
and so he's going to
Sliding
be
into
out.
home plate, that was barely a slide. He ran into the catcher. They collided.
Very
Like
true. But
it
yeah,
wasn't much of a slide. I don't
it's
know.
pretty.
Would you?
It was
That was
pretty
a slide
violent.
to
Yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I watched it too, and so you're not wrong. So the uh the little incident there at home plate
But
has
that's my
left
thing.
O'Neal Cruz out for 2.
What's the right thing to do there for people on the Pirates? Like what
You
is the
just keep
catcher supposed?
you keep trucking the catcher just like the good old days. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, it was on him to not take a hit or to not give the hit. So,
Yeah, the
I,
technical rule is that the catcher cannot be in the path unless they have the ball. So, uh, there's a lot of gray line in this, but he should have left the path open until you have possession of the ball.
yeah.
So a lot of catchers will do a move where they're like in one fluid motion catching the ball and blocking the base path, but sometimes they don't catch the ball and then they're just in the base path, and so
But he
there's a lot
was.
of
So I don't
yeah.
know. That was dumb. I saw last week when they were playing the Reds, Andrew McCutcheon's mom sang the national anthem and they
Wow.
won. So maybe that's the secret to their success. Just have players' parents sing the national anthem each game when
I
they're home.
think Andrew McCutcheon is the secret to any success. He is one of my top favorite ball players. I'm glad to see him going back home in Pittsburgh. So they really showed
Yeah.
up. They really showed up for him for his first home game back, and it's a pretty fun story to see.
Yeah.
So
Brewers and the Padres. Dude, the Padres I thought were supposed to just be like this killer stellar team. And I mean, they're 6-5, so it's not bad, but like looking at the NL West, the Arizona Diamondbacks are in first place right now. Like I know it's early and anything I say is over exaggeration, but boy, I would have put the Padres as a team that would have been close to like being undefeated, you would think, going into all this.
oh yeah, absolutely. They have most certainly they at least have the bankroll for more success. But I also don't love that team, like personally. Like, so I can see a lot of bad attitudes, a lot of blown up egos leading to poor success on the field. So nobody's worse than Manny Machado, and he's still kind of been on par for the course of the season. And then Juan Soto in there is also starting to get like in his head and
I
think
mean,
he's bigger than he is. And
how many more times is Manny Machado gonna cost an out from not understanding the pitch clock or not
right,
understanding any of that? I don't get it.
he got ejected from a game again, just arguing shit. So
Oh, and this reminds me of what I wanted to bring up. Watching the Guardians game yesterday, uh I think that it actually does a benefit to James Karnichak, or one of our relievers, to have somebody on base, because it gives him that 5 extra seconds. Because he's an anxious guy. We've talked about it. He loves
Oh
doing all the
yeah.
like pre-thing rituals. It's almost like, why don't we just put somebody on first so I can have 5 extra seconds? It almost does him like more of a favor to do that. And
No.
that's what I've been thinking about, is like, here's just another way to manipulate the pitch clock. Put somebody on first, or at least on a base where you get a little more time to work with the your delivery.
No, and in his case, it does seem like a weird oddball strategy move to walk the first guy and then get 5 more seconds so that he can twiddle his hair
Yeah, I think that
and
might
count the number of sunflower seeds in his pocket.
All right, we're getting close to wrapping up. So anybody else who has stuck out to you, or anything else baseball you wanted to mention before we get out of here?
I will, I guess, shout out a player that's been showing off this week, Will Smith. He's very much worked his way into the conversation of best catcher in the league. He's been my favorite since he showed up. I've been a big fan of him the last couple of seasons. He's just kind of a tiny powerhouse, and he's been killing it offensively for the Dodgers so far this season. So he's worked his way into the conversation of best catcher in the league, which, if you had to throw out names, it'd be JT Realmuto, Will Smith, Wilson Contreras, and then maybe Yasmani Grandal. I mean, we got that's a good top 4, but Will Smith's been killing it. So
All right,
shout out.
hey, good for him. I'll go to my player, Mike Zunino.
Trace triples.
3 triples. Come on, dude, that's awesome. Before that game, I was saying Jose Ramirez is like the king of doubles for Cleveland, but looks like he's been dethroned, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
better luck next time, buddy. Well, it is Dinger Tuesday. If I don't think I'll get this out by Tuesday, but hey, for the sake of just saying it, anybody you think today gonna get a dinger
Hitting
while
a
we're
home
at
run
it?
today, I'm gonna say Mike Trout.
Mike
Trout hits
Trout.
a home run today.
All right, and I will go with Kyle Schwarber.
Schwarbomb. Yeah, Mike Trout went hitless yesterday, so
okay, I think Schwarber had some hits, but I don't think he hit a bomb yesterday. And after just making fools of the Marlins yesterday, I think they're just gonna keep it rolling. I'll go a second one, and I'll put Vlad Jr. up there. Why not?
your boy.
Or him and, I mean, you could go either way. Matt Chapman getting a lot of hits, or Vlad Jr. I'll put for some home runs today. So
there you go.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we're gonna keep checking in. Make sure you like and follow and subscribe, all those things you're supposed to do with podcasts. And until next time, we'll see you out there at the ballpark.
Yeah, goodbye, you fiends.